Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Andrea and today I'm going to share with you some of the things that I wish I knew before I moved abroad. There are just so many things that I didn't get quite right from the beginning of my move abroad. So I wanted to tell you about that. But before I do tell you what I would have done differently, I first need to tell you a few of the things that I got wrong so you can understand my perspective. The first mistake that I made is that I viewed my adoptive country, which is the US, through rose-colored glasses. This is a very typical mistake that most immigrants make when they first arrive abroad. I call this the honeymoon phase. In my book, I have a whole chapter about the honeymoon phase and this whole part of the immigrant journey. But basically, the honeymoon phase is the time right after you arrive in a new country where you feel like the new country that you're in is absolutely perfect. This was definitely the case for me. When I first arrived in the US, I thought it was the most perfect country in the whole wide world and that I am the luckiest girl alive. The problem with this type of thinking is that number one, you're obviously not seeing things clearly because no country is perfect. And number two, if you think that everything's perfect, then things can only go downhill from there. The second mistake that I was making is that I was trying really hard to fit in. I didn't want to spend any time talking about my life before I moved to the US or my life in Romania, what that was like, how it's different. Every time my friends would ask me about my hometown or started commenting on my accent, it made me feel weird. It made me feel like I was so different from them, and I was trying to avoid sticking out at all costs. Looking back, I realize now how silly this is. Obviously, they weren't asking me about my hometown because they wanted to make me feel bad. They were just asking because they wanted to get to know me better. Meanwhile, I was sitting there secretly wishing that no one could tell that I'm not an American. The last mistake that I'm going to talk about in this video is the fact that I kept things very shallow at the beginning. I found this to be very easy to do in the US because most people love making small talk. I would say I would spend 99% of my conversations making small talk, talking about day-to-day events, the weather, like very shallow things. This kind of behavior obviously makes sense for someone that's trying to pretend that everything is perfect, because as soon as you move past shallow topics, people can start to see the cracks. So given all of this, what do I wish I would have done differently? Well, the first thing I would advise my younger self is to take herself more seriously from day one. I know how exciting everything is when you first arrive in a new country, but looking back, I wish I would have grounded myself in reality sooner. Instead of getting lost in la la land and how you imagine things should be and how perfect this new place is, I think I would have done better if I just focused on building healthy habits and routines from day one. So creating a schedule, having a budget, saving your money, and getting crystal clear on what your goals are. You really don't have any time to waste. So stop daydreaming and start making the most of your opportunity from the day that you arrive. The second thing that I would have told baby Andrea is to document her journey. I really regret not doing this. I feel like everything happened so fast and I didn't have time to document what I was feeling and all of the milestones that I was reaching. You can document your progress in writing, so you can write in a journal or you can start a blog or through pictures or videos or YouTube. I mean, there's a million ways. Please remember that you don't need to share this with anyone if you don't want to. It could be perfectly acceptable to just keep it for your eyes only. But as you start to document your journey over time, I think you start to see some patterns emerge, either with yourself or the world around you that you simply don't notice before. That was definitely the case for me once I started journaling every day. And it's also a good idea because it'll teach you the art of storytelling, which is a very valuable skill. The third advice that I would give myself is don't try to be like everybody else. When I was in the honeymoon phase, I was mostly interested in having fun and finding the most Instagrammable places and the best restaurants to hang out. The biggest compliment that you could have given me during this time of my life was to tell me that I didn't have an accent at all. I really wanted to fit in and be like everyone else. This was a very easy mistake to make, like I've said before. I think I just got blinded by all of the smoke and mirrors. And I wish someone would have sat me down and told me that my background and my accent is an asset and not a liability. They add to the richness of my personality and my character, and they don't take anything away. They don't make you less than. They don't make you look weird. It's just that you're a little bit different, and that can be a good thing. So that is the advice that I would give my younger self. Please let me know what you thought of this video and if you feel like this applies to you. I think that these insights will make your experience abroad not just memorable, but truly life-changing. If this topic was interesting to you, I wanted to let you know that I wrote a new book called The Immigrant Journey: How to Make the Most of Your Life in a New Country. You can find a link to my book at the link in the description box below. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up and subscribe for more content on living and thriving abroad. Please share your own experiences or questions in the comments below. I'd love to hear from you. That's it for now, and I'll see you in the next one.